Are you aware of how many deaths are caused annually due to the pollution caused by energy factories other than nuclear waste?
Could you provide the number? No.
Yes, I could. 7 million.
7 million. How?
7 million deaths caused by pollution, whereas nuclear power factories annually cause the deaths of less than 13 people a year globally.
Could you repeat that question, please?
Yes. I said, do you know how many deaths are caused annually from power factories other than nuclear factories?
We do know how many deaths have been committed or caused by nuclear power plants over the course of history, or actually just since 1986, when
Thank you very much. And you mentioned wind turbines and farms. Do you know how much each wind turbine or farm would cost for a singular turbine?
Yes, on average, it's going to be about $3 to $4 million for a 100 megawatt, not megawatt, I'm sorry, 100 kilowatt wind turbine.
Thank you. And how often do they run, and how long would it take for each wind turbine to supply the same amount of energy as a nuclear factory?
They run constantly at all times. You can disconnect them from the turbines so they don't produce energy and they're just spinning with the wind. How long would it take? It can produce the same, if you have a widespread amount of wind turbines, it could produce at the same rate.
All right, thank you.
Under your value of deontology, you argue that everybody needs to make choices that allow them to be a free and rational being. Could you please explain how not allowing countries to produce nuclear power would prohibit them from being a free and rational being?
Yes, just the fact that there is a chance of a nuclear meltdown, it's so great and so detrimental to life on Earth, there should be no chance of it ever happening. Along with the fact that there are regulations of not being allowed to live near nuclear power plants, be associated in certain ways, it affects your food supplies at times. That is a reason.
Excuse me, you would agree that other energy sources such as natural gas, oil, coal, etc., they also are prone to killing a lot of people and also to such dangers as oil spills?
Yes.
And would you also agree that under your criterion of cultural relativism, that each culture has a different set of values and morals and expectations of what they should have in their culture?
With our definition, culture is regarded as human intellectual achievement regarded collectively, meaning human culture, not cultures within humans, not subcategories.
Under that definition, though, would you still agree that culture, like humans as a whole, should be allowed to decide for themselves what they would like in their world?
I do agree that people should be able to have the choice to what they want to do and how they want to live. However, nuclear energy and where energy comes from is not up to the people. It's up to a specific group of people, mainly the government.
Excuse me? Under certain governments, you would agree that there is democracy, correct?
Yes, under a lot of governments, yes.
And so in democracies, part of the beauty of them is that they get to choose what they would like, such as their energy sources. We saw the same issue with the Keystone Pipeline last year. So do you think it is moral to allow this country not to make their own decision based on what they want their power to be?
There is no direct democracy system in the world as of now that has nuclear power.
But there is such things as the Senate, which allow the people that we chose to represent us to make those decisions on our behalf. And you would agree that this is at least a form of democracy, correct?
This is a form of democracy, and one could argue that Congress doesn't represent the people's opinion.
Could you also provide us as to, you mentioned cancer deaths and risks of cancer exposure from radiation in Chernobyl. What was the primary type of cancer that they were exposed to or at risk of after these?
Thyroid is one of the major ones.
Would you agree that thyroid is one of the most curable? It's actually considered the most curable cancer among patients. Absolutely, it's not good, but there are far worse things that they could be infected with.
I suppose that, but I will choose not to neglect any life or disease because it is not as bad as possibly the next one coming down the road.
Absolutely, but what about alternate energy sources? Those cause more deaths than nuclear power. Nuclear power causes an average of less than 13 per year. Thank you.